Milo. Welcome to the Dragon stream. I know I said on Twitter I'd be starting with Panzer Dragoon Mini, but I decided to reverse the order. So I'm playing a few games today, and I'm going to go in chronological order. Well, before we start, this is an arcade game, so I'm going to adjust the dip switch things, give me more lives. Difficulty is already on easy, and looks like everything else is just stuff I don't need to bother with. So let's get started. So this is a Jaleco arcade game from 1989 called Saint Dragon. And now let's insert a coin. Good. Hope we get a demo reel. I mean in a track mode. Maybe a bit of story. Maybe that won't happen once I've inserted the credit. Should have left it on that screen a little longer. What's the reset button? I don't know, but I do know that that works. So bear with me. Yep, my dip switches are still flicked. Gibbons Home, hello, welcome. Hope your internet is performing adequately. He said he was having some problems with it. So yeah, as I said, this is Saint Dragon. We're going to wait on the title screen for a minute to see if there's an attract mode. Attract mode is obviously an important feature of arcade games. Okay, it's showing us scores. It's giving us some nice sort of eerie tone-setting music. That's good. Here we go. Okay, just a demonstration, I guess. So this is what we can expect from the game. It's a side-scrolling shmup, a bit like, what's the one I saw it compared to? I don't remember the exact one. There are so many shmup series, and I get them confused. I'm sorry, it's not my strong suit. Looks like that might be it. So we'll insert a coin, and we'll get started. We see a little egg pop open, and this guy comes out. According to some things I read online, this character's name is Saint Dragon, and it's chosen to fight against these. I don't know what's going on in this game. Basically, you shoot a bunch of robots because it's cool. What more justification do you need? So you may have noticed as you move around oops, there I go. Okay, I do have 5 lives. Oh, it's sending me back. See, sometimes with these kinds of games, you can just start where you left off. If you have enough credits, but I might actually have to use a bit of skill, and that's quite worrying for me. Playing on MAME, I do have all the credits I'll ever need, so that's not a problem, but looks like more of a problem will be actual progression. Yeah, oh, see, there you go. So, yeah, Saint Dragon, the character, the thing about it is that only its head is vulnerable to enemy attacks. Oh, man. Okay, we might not be spending as long on this one as I thought, if I can't even get past the first stage. But yeah, I think the background's really interesting. Oh, damn, I forgot. This game has contact damage. I will give myself another credit here. Yes, thank you. Hold on a sec. Yep, okay. Yeah, it's one of those annoying things where if you run your character into, parts of the background that you see, the terrain, I should say, then yeah, you die straight away. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So yeah, I think one of the distinctive things about this game is the enemy character designs. Everything seems to be robotic animals, and it's a really cool cyberpunk kind of look. Whoop. Yeah, okay, so by collecting different colored things, I mean, this is basic shmup stuff, but yeah, in a lot of these games, collecting different colored power-ups will give you different weapons or different attributes to your main shot. Oh man, I'm not very good at this. But I have made some progress. The bit I'm at now with the tiger creatures is further than I was before, so that's something. Have to master rapid firing, I suppose. Holding the button down gives you a slow shot like this. It's repeated, but it's slow, whereas rapid fire mashing will make it faster. So if you hear any keyboard noise, too bad. But yeah, I want to progress in this game just to see what kind of cool creature designs show up next. What robots I'm going to blow up. So yeah, I was talking about the tail aspect here. As you move around, you can actually shield your vulnerable head from enemy fire if you maneuver it such that your tail is... oops. Not if they're just going to jump straight through it. But yeah, the tail will... The tail and body segments will block shots. And with a bit of clever maneuvering, cleverer than I'm probably capable of, yeah, you're able to protect yourself. I just haven't managed to kill one of these cats yet so far. Okay, so I'll keep upgrading my main shot, and that carries over between lives, but probably not between continues, I'm guessing. That's how it usually works. Okay, we got a cat. So subsequent B power-ups, which I assume is ball, don't upgrade my ball. I think they will just change what my sub shot is. Let's give myself a bunch of credits. And hopefully next time I continue I'll come back. Oh, I actually kept my shot upgrade. That's good. That's a help. Of course, it doesn't make me any less vulnerable. If one hit in the right place will still take me out. Like I said, I've never been that good at shmups, but looking for themed games for my chosen theme, a lot of games where you play as a dragon end up being shmups for, you know, whatever reason. It's easy to transfer that gameplay to a dragon rather than the usual spaceship, because they can fly, they have, you know, fire breath or whatever. That's the general dragon abilities. So yeah, that's a bit of a theme you see. Of course, this theme was prompted by me playing Spyro 2 recently as part of our retro game club that we run on Discord. Okay, so I've reached a new area, and yes, I just got an invincibility power-up. So I also read that you can use your tail to damage enemies as well, but I don't know if that's just something you can do all the time or whether you need a power-up to do it. I don't know. But certainly the visual design of this game is interesting. I really like the background, how it's this barren sort of wasteland, but it still manages to look alien, and that neat little rainbow effect on the horizon is really cool. And what does N do? I have no idea. Yeah, arcade games don't have manuals, although sometimes I guess certain instructions might have been printed on the cabinet. I got L, so that's a straight shot forward. Ooh, music change, boss time. Giant robotic bull. Oh no! That stupid little enemy sitting there. Oh well. Checkpoints are not too bad, so yeah, we'll get through this. I looked up long plays of most of the games that I'm going to be playing today, and most of them are around 20 minutes. So even if I don't do as well as long play, which we established, I think in some recent streams, that, you know, long plays do have practice behind them, and they're expected to be good at the game they're playing. Yeah, I should still get through at least some of the games I'm going to play. Two of the ones on the docket are arcade games, but the other two are console games, so I'll be able to use save states to supplement my mega skills on those ones. Okay, if I can get the right position, I might be able to hit. Nope, can't hit. There we go, okay. Man, I do wish I had save states. Maybe main does have the capability to do that, but no. Oh boy. You know what, maybe it's worth looking into. Tab, input general, user interface, can I save states? Save snapshot, keyboard F12, not keyboard shift. What's that mean? Alright, I'm gonna try that. I don't use main much. Like this. Recording start. Recording stop. No, that's not what I want. Oh, I was doing record movie, and snapshot is probably the screenshot. So what would be... Emulators have different terminology, you know. Okay, here we go. F7. Alright. So... load cancelled. So save there, and then load there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Work that out. Excellent. Now, Saint Dragon. I don't know what Saint Dragon is supposed to mean. Perhaps it's sort of a English allusion to the fact that this dragon is a good guy. Save, like this? No, not like that. Like this. Okay. So I've saved with 5 lives remaining. So I did read a plot for this game online, but I don't remember what exactly it's had to say. Like I said, it's probably not super important. Oh man, I hate this. It's so easy to crash into a wall and die. Why don't we beat the first boss and then we'll go to a different game? I don't think I'll be getting very far in this one. Okay, save to position. Okay. Now we'll at least check out stage 2. So yeah, I was playing, like I said, I was playing Spyro 2, and that made me stop and think in the way that Echo the Dolphin made me think. How many games are there where you play as an aquatic animal in an underwater habitat, right? So I'm thinking, how many games have you as a dragon, as opposed to you being a human riding a dragon, or say a human transformed into a dragon, which you'll find a lot of examples of quote-unquote dragon games are. So it was a fun way to sort of narrow the scope of a subgrouping of games, is to say, what's a game where you just play as a dragon and that's your character? So I went on Moby Games. There's a category for dragon flying / riding. So that's, you know, it's always incomplete because it's all just user generated. But it's a group of games that feature a dragon as a playable character, and that dragon is flying, which they aren't always, but yeah, or you could be a person riding on a dragon. So what I did was I went through that list, and I also found a really cool list on Wikipedia of dragon games with a very large table and all sorts of sub classifications, which was extremely helpful. I think it was changed at some point because there were, I found a link on certain pages to categories of Dragon games that was a red link, which means that it hadn't been updated or it's broken or something. But so I thought that maybe it had just been deleted, but the list of Dragon games on Wikipedia does live on in a different form. Oh man, very hard to avoid that. This game's pretty unforgiving, really. I think there's a 2-player mode, but I don't know if that's lets. Actually, let me try that. One of these buttons gives me a 2-player start. Oop, not that one. Oh well. Never mind about 2-player mode. I thought maybe it would let a person who died continue from the same point, but I don't know. So what was I saying? There's a big list of Dragon games, and simply in order to cut it down and to find an incredibly niche subgenre, I was looking for games where you primarily play as a dragon, like an actual dragon, not a human who's been transformed into a dragon, which cuts down 2 things, and not a human who's riding a dragon. You have to have agency as a dragon character. And obviously Spyro itself is the archetypal example of this, but in the Spyro games, compared to, you know, the popular depiction of dragons in media, Spyro's actually kind of depowered because I guess the justification is he's young and hasn't fully got all his powers yet. He can't fly freely, he has flame breath, but it has kind of a short range, and you do get long range fire breath and free flight as limited power-ups in those games. But yeah, I guess it's just part of game design to limit his capabilities. And yeah, it works for that, certainly. Oh, I'm trapped again. Yep, okay. Yeah, we're getting some tricks. You know, I'm sure if you watch streamers or Let's Plays regularly, you will know that trying to talk while playing a game can make the game, yeah, it can be a big distraction and can make it harder to play the game, so please forgive my lack of skills. But yeah, this is going slowly, so let's be the first boss, we'll see what the next level has, and then we'll move on to something else, because there's a few more things on the docket today, and certainly a lot to talk about too. Ooh, okay. Oh good. Well done, Saint Dragon. You're the hero of our times. Ooh, nice music. I don't know if it really suits, but you know, it's a little upbeat and poppy. For a cyberpunk, like sci-fi thing like this, maybe. But here we see in the background some nice alien structures in possibly an underground cabin or maybe an alien forest. Whatever it is, it's cool. Alright, I have flame breath now, which seems a lot like the laser one I had before, but just saying. Whoa! Okay. Invincibility. Oh gosh, chat. I haven't even been checking chat. No time. Shmup too intense. I had this problem as well. I've only played a couple of shmup games on stream, including Air Zonk or PC Denjin. Given rejecting me calling that previous boss a bull, he says, "That, sir, is a cow, a goddamn rocket cow." Well Well said, given. Oh boy. What time is it? Well, I've just about got to the point where the long play would have finished this game, so... Yep, that's my continue, so let's move on. And oddly enough, the next game on the list is quite related to the aforementioned Air Zonk. Where is it? There. Nope, reset that. Okay. Got a little button here. Ta-da! Okay. Max that soft, thank you. This is a little game called Coryoon, Child of Dragon. There's my controller. Well, we'll leave it here a bit. This is another shmup. It's also side-on, so, you know, same as the last one, but a lot more cutesy looking rather than the hard sci-fi edge of Saint Dragon. It has a very concrete connection to Air Zonk, which I mentioned. Alright, let's see the plot first. Oh no, something's happening. An evil thing. Ah, magic. Okay, the peril is that the princess has been transformed into a chibi version of herself. And I, as Coryoon, have to find that bad guy and stop him. Alright, so yeah, I mentioned Air Zonk. If you remember anything from that game, and I guess you can go back in the archives and see my playthrough of it, the mechanics, supposedly, for this one, and also you can tell the look of it, certainly, are very similar between the two. And that's because they shared a lot of the same stuff. They are actually made by different companies. Air Zonk was Red, I believe, the same creators of the other PC Engine games. But the actual staff that made the game apparently moved companies and at this point worked at Maxatsoft. Actually, I'm not sure which came first between the two, so oops. But yeah, the main programmer, the art director, I think even the music are all the same people. So yeah, it's got a lot of that DNA. So yeah, we've got Coryoon here changing colors as he gets different power-ups. I think it's okay. I'm not too sure. Let's assume so. Actually, let's not. Assuming gender is one of the worst things you can do. Okay, maybe not the worst, but I'm babbling. Let's get a yellow. Nope, I got a blue. So you can get, oh, I turned small. That's cute. Yeah, the orbs, they switch between colors. Oh, I have a friend. Wow. Yeah, I'm constantly being surprised by the things happening here, and also confused. Heart, gimme. Okay, that made me big and it gave me fairies. Alright, let's get another blue. See if we can upgrade even further. Excellent. We have a wide water shot. So fruit only seems to increase your score, but it's possible that, as is common with these kinds of games, you get extra lives at certain score thresholds or yeah, cutoffs or whatever. So yeah, a very cute game. Pretty friendly. Okay, so that was the thing that happened. I got hit by an enemy's shot. The game's pretty forgiving so far. Oh, that's right. If I don't shoot for a while, Coryoon will charge up and then I can release a larger shot. And now we're fighting a Pegasus and a unicorn. Cute. So it looks like contact damage. Wait, was I hurt by that or was I not? I'm not sure. Because I also got hit by a laser. Or did I? I don't know. Ah, this is confusing. think I just said 1-up. 1-up, dude. Oh, they merged into one. Now it's a pegacorn. So Coryoon is this game was only released in Japan, I think. Actually, maybe not. Man, I feel like I dropped the ball on my research this time around, but I was just looking up so many different Dragon games. Maybe I didn't go in depth on enough of them. Anyway, Coryoon is sort of a pun-ish on... oops, switched to a different power-up, which means it's at the base level instead of being upgraded. Yeah, Ko means small or child or like baby, and Ryu is dragon, so Coryoon is like baby dragon, and then with the n at the end, it's just kind of a thing. Okay, lightning shot. Yeah, so when you get hit, you do lose your power up instead of losing a life straight away. So it's kind of forgiving, I guess. I'm back to my basic shot. And I'm little. I don't know if being little is really a detriment. I suppose it'll make it easier to avoid shots. Oh, stalk! Stalks are kind of weird in that they're kind of bald. They're missing all their feathers, but it's cute. Not a boss already. So this game also pretty short on the long play, but I think I might be able to get through it myself. Oops, not if I play like that. Let's get this power up. Ooh, nasty. Oh, let's get the yellow one this time. Okay, it's a spread shot. That'll let me stay out of trouble a bit more. And knock out those projectiles a bit more. Oh, fine. This one will let me hit the crab with more shots, so that's a good thing as well. Yay! Made sure work of that. Pow. Fire, please. So yeah, this is, I didn't mention this is actually on the PC Engine. It's not a PC Engine CD game, but it's still able to have, yeah, sound clips and stuff. But then, you know, all the 16-bit consoles could do that to some extent. This orb. I don't know if the shot upgrades go beyond the second level, really. Oops. Well, back to water, I guess. That's right, no terrain to crash into in this game. Good stuff. Lightning, please. Don't. Fine. Oops. It's okay. We've got a lot of lives. That's gonna bite me later, I'm sure, but oh well. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. Ah. Oh, things are heating up. Nut. Ooh. 5-way shot, that's nice. Also protect me from behind. Oh no, naval prawn. Have some kind of yabby. Oops. One up here. Yeah, I'm glad that my shots can destroy a lot of enemy projectiles. That's a nice feature. There we go. Makes the game a little more friendly. Whew, okay, Tony's here in chat. Hello. He's saying Courtney drew a good picture. That's nice. I'd like to see it. I don't actually follow you on Twitter. I don't really follow many people, so yeah, sorry about that. But go post it in Discord and I'll check it out. Oops. And he's saying also this game is adorable. Oh, yeah, I think so too. It's lovely. And you know, true to its looks, it's also pretty friendly as shmups go. So that's nice. There's a lot going on screen at times. A lot of enemies popping up. Yeah, I often go to Hardcore Gaming 101 to check reviews of things and you know, information, trivia and stuff. They mentioned of this game that there's very little slowdown even with massive numbers of sprites on screen, and yeah, that's certainly a strength. Okay. Don't know whose hands those are, but okay. Some of these are on timers and some of them are motion detected, so to speak. Now you can see the little blue blobs rising up in the background before they come into the foreground to attack me. Fire, please. Seems to be a good damage dealer. Whoa. Ooh. Oh. So close. I'm losing lives rapidly. Yeep. Let's lay back a little bit. Let's try and get through this without losing a life. Okay, I cannot damage those projectiles. So I'll fly around. Yeah, dragon. Dragon style. Ooh. So yeah, like I said, we'll be playing a few different shmups today as part of this dragon showcase. Hey, there we go. Oh, there's a level 3 for these weapons. So I just didn't realize it last time. Let's try and get another one. Is that level 4? Can't tell. Let's just try and avoid those fireballs. Oh, oh, oh. See, now I've got a little helper guy again. I don't know when that happens. Maybe it's because I upgraded my shot enough or something. And also I'm small. Okay, now I'm regular. I'm so confused. Okay, yes. Actually avoided it at that time. So what does this club do? Dope. Luckily those stalks come by pretty often. Am I just repeating the same segment? Not quite. Ooh. Oh, my friend went away. Uh-oh. So the griffin has become a manticore. Ooh, brutal. Ah, and I missed the power up. Let's load back. Oh, I can't look at it right now, Tony, sorry. He might be saying fire. There are little voice clips, and I think he probably is calling out what power up he's getting, maybe? Try and listen out for it. He definitely says 1 up when he gets a life, extra life. Fire Manticore. Oh, he's back! Wow. Oh, no. Wow, this got tough. Let's load back a little bit. We'll save after that first phase pick for change. You caught me off guard last time. Ah. Got hit already. Huh. Those small projectiles don't seem to hurt me. They might just be... Oh, okay. Yeah, they might be hindering my shot or something. Yeah, that's right. Given saying for Coryoon, putting the n sound at the end makes it even more diminutive, like cute kind of thing. Ooh. Fire again. Nope. Let's try and get some hits on this guy. Okay. Please don't come back again. I think that's it. Stage clear. Tony says, I don't think they're cute if they're trying to kill you. And he's comparing the pronunciation of fire, as said in this game, to how they say it in Puyo Puyo. Yeah, could be just the cutesy Japanese way of saying fire. Let's upgrade our lightning. More. Yeah. Which would be like, fire! Nope. Think that was thunder? What the? Yeah, he's definitely saying it. Uh-oh. Skulls. Dinosaurs. It's also cute though. Incredibly cute. Yeah, they do seem to like doing this, having the same little gameplay segment multiple times over. Whoa, that tree just ran away. Okay. Oh, some of these trees are like fake enemy trees or something? How can I tell? I have to fight this worm thing. Ouch. Oh, this is rough. Water, please. Fire will do. Okay, got it. It's through storm. Oh, cute! That's very non-threatening. I'm sure it'll have a second phase where it becomes scary. Oh! Oh! Didn't know Stegosauruses could do that. Oh, I think I went back too far. Oh, well. We got the water now, which is kind of the laser power of it, I think. Got a long range, tight focus, but it does go wider when upgraded, so that's good. Hopefully it has high power, but I'm not sure. Oh, they're like Magnet Man's things at Mega Man. Oh. Okay. Oh, now I have a different kind of friend. Water. Let me do water. Damn. Now I'm bad at that. Okay. Yeah. This game's pretty damn cute. I never played the sequel to Airzonk, but I heard it has different developers and changes things up about the style. Damn. Fire. Ooh. Fire. Okay. It can be really hard to react to things when there's so much on screen at once. See, I just completely ran into something. I'm not sure what it was. What hit me? Fireball? Ah. They change just when you pick them up. Oh well. And the little friends always leave for the boss fight, unfortunately. Okay, it's a disembodied head. Oof. Oops. This ain't good. See that heart? I'm not picking it up. Okay. I'll stop trying. This game got difficult. Oh well. At least I have my save states. I do like the music a lot. Now I have the water upgrade, so I'm feeling good. Yeah, he always does a charged fire breath shot, no matter what element he's currently inhabiting. Thunder's probably better in this battle. Oops, never mind. Yikes. So this game is supposed to be short, but I'm not playing it very well either. I've kind of lost track of how many stages I've beaten. I think this is the third real boss. At least maintain a power up. I won't die. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. Comes back more powerful. I'm looking a lot like a snake from Battletoads. Well, maybe not so much. Oh, sorry, I'm focusing way too much. So as I said before, yeah, chat, sorry, given mentioning that the crab boss is just like Claw Grip from Doki Doki Panic, but with extendable arms. Ugh. Man, oh man. Yeah, the art style kind of matches, doesn't it? Oof. More or less. Doki Doki Panic was recently accepted into the DK Gerda Annals as a cameo, no, maybe a cameo game? As important to the DK Gerda oeuvre because of, well, specifically because of the Spark enemy, but it's also got other DK arcade-ish references, girders and such. I have been talking about Gibbon about working with DK Gerda and coming on in official capacity, but we haven't quite worked out what that entails yet. Certainly more podcasts. But the idea is to take some of the burden off him in terms of putting content out. At least that was my thought. Ooh, alright. We did it. Oh, good. He is acknowledging that getting a task tracker set up. And I know that initial stage is going to be work for you, but yeah, I really do hope I can help you out on the site. Be a part of it. It'll be cool stuff. Let's do lightning. That's fine. Oh, I already had fire. No, I didn't. I just had a charge thing built up. Ooh, was that a fake stalk? Tricky. Yeah, see, evil stalk. And I didn't mean to imply you were being disingenuous in your offer as there, given more my own anxieties, making me uncertain. So I keep wanting to talk about Spyro, but yeah. Shmups, I should have realized last time, do tend to take a lot of your attention. A spider! Ah! Yeah. Oof, real life crisis there, but it's over now. Well, that's a nice little cycling effect on the water there. Okay, let's try and do this without immediately losing our power up. Too late. Ouch. Brutal. Yeah, so I guess Spyro, were we talking about Spyro ages ago? Yeah, I really enjoyed Spyro 2 a lot. And so taking on a task much like my Dolphin Games thing, I decided to look into Dragon games. I've said all this already. Specifically, I'm not going to be playing any Spyro games today because they take too long, and there's a heck of a lot of them, I'll tell you what. I can talk about them a bit. There was the original trilogy on a PlayStation 1 by Insomniac Games, and oh. Nah. After that, there were a few sort of follow-ups on the Game Boy Advance, which were mostly isometric style platformers. A bit like when I checked them out, they reminded me a lot of the Rayman isometric platformer on GBA, which was called Hoodlum's Revenge. It was based on Rayman 3, so a sequel to that. Ooh. Okay. I think one of them was a side-scroller. That was actually the crossover game with the Crash Bandicoot series. They did a thing there because Activision owned both properties at that point, and still do actually. Hence Crash showing up in Skylanders without any issues on all platforms. Yeah, they had a little crossover thing. I actually showed off part of the overall crossover, wider crossover thing with Crash and Spyro when I played Crash Nitro Kart on the GBA. in that version exclusively, Spyro is an extra playable character. Yep. But yeah, they had a whole game pair thing. Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. There were 2 games released where the antagonist of one of these series fought the protagonist of the other one. So, like, what's his face? Dr. N, whatever guy. Neocortex took on Spyro in Spyro's game. And then the villain of Spyro 2, Ripto, took on Crash in Crash's game. And yeah, they were both side-scrollers. Which was unfamiliar to Spyro at the time. So yeah, that was that. There were actually a total of 4 GBA games in the Spyro series. Oh, I'm doing pretty well dodging those shots actually. Probably a fluke, but we'll see if we can keep it up. So then there were another 2 games on the PS2 and a couple other consoles of that generation. I think the GameCube had the first one and the second one was on GameCube and Xbox, I think. I don't remember the names. And then apart from that, there were 3 on mobile phones. One was, okay, stage 6, good to know. I don't know how many stages there are, but we're going to keep playing this game, it's cute. And I don't feel overwhelmed by it. Yeah, so mobile phone games. One of them was like a little weird sort of life sim management game. I don't know, it was weird. Another one was something else that I don't remember, and the third one was a 2D platformer that was tying into the final sort of Spyro game in the series, Shadow Legacy on the DS. And then they rebooted the whole thing, so then you've got the Legend of Spyro games, which had, you know, their own versions. You've got console, DS, GBA, and mobile for the first 2 installments. They cut out the GBA by the time the third one came out. And the console one for the third one also came out on HD consoles because they were new at the time. And then it got rebooted again. So Spyro's had its canon ditched twice over, and it became part of... I pressed a different button and it made a bomb that destroyed everything on screen. I didn't know it could do that. Okay, let's keep that in the back pocket. Yeah, so now it's Skylanders, of course. That's how the Spyro series is continuing. He's just one of hundreds of playable characters now. So within my recently researched Dragon games category thing, none of them would really count per se because it's just one of many playable characters. I am actually going to slightly break that rule during this stream, but we'll get to that later. Because if you have giant ensembles like that, you start including games like I don't know, Dota, where there's some dragons in it. So yeah, but I don't know, I'm not taking this as seriously as I have done the Dolphin games. And that was a lot of fun to do. I purposely wanted to keep this a little bit more casual because there was a lot of prep work in the Dolphin stream. Oh man, this is really hard and I'm losing a lot of lives. Let's go back a bit. We'll get we'll get fire. And we'll see what we can do. So yeah, lots of Spyro games. After Spyro, when I was thinking about dragons, the first thing I came up with was actually Freedom Planet, which is a indie game that you might have heard of coming out in the last few years. the main character Lilac has actually showed up in a ton of other sort of indie crossover stuff. The fire didn't really seem to be hurting it at all. Let's try water, shall we? Nope, that's not going to change in time. Lightning is hitting it every now and then, but not very much. And that didn't really help. Don't. Maybe I'll get up close? Yeah, that works. Okay, I'll get up close. I was managing to avoid its shots somehow. Hey, what? Now it's not working. It's just clinking. What's the problem here? What am I doing wrong? And now it's working. Ah, go figure. Well, we beat it. Let's move on. Chicken! That gives me a power-up. Baby dragon. So yeah, the baby dragons, well, Coryoon is already apparently a baby dragon, so these ones are even babier, whatever that means. Oh, a robot one! Wacky. Yeah, their colors all have different abilities too, it looks like. Oh, nasty. Give me light. Gem turtles, they're kind of cute. Oh man. Cannot keep a power up to save my life. Actually, it did save my life a few times. Yeah, so Freedom Planet, I don't know what that does. Okay, I switch power-ups and it's still at max level, so maybe when you get to max level it keeps that between the power-ups. Ah! Evil treasure! Yeah, Freedom Planet, it started as a Sonic fan game, and you can tell that with the way the movement system works in the game, that it's got those origins. So these fairies are reflecting enemy shots, that's good. What just happened? I don't know what those little symbols, like, some of them have different effects. I don't know what the green club does, because it seemed to take away my fairies. Oh well, maybe they just left them. Yeah, so Freedom Planet, they retooled it from being a Sonic fan game to being its own different property, so they could sell it, and yeah, good decision. I mean, sometimes making Sonic fan games pays off and then you get to make a real Sonic game, but sometimes you just have to make your own thing. But yeah, the main character, like I said, who's shown up a lot of different things, is called Lilac. She's a purple, sort of, in that style, you know, humanoid animal kind of thing. She is stated to be a dragon. She doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of dragon properties or characteristics, like, you know, wings or claws or fire breath or anything like that, or even scales in evidence. But I guess some characters don't mention scales. Don't quote me on that. Oh, this game's cool. Okay, but yeah, she's the dragon, I guess, so that counts. She's more humanoid than most, but yeah, so I started by thinking of Freedom Planet, and then I kind of got stuck there, so I went and started researching. I knew that Panzer Dragoon was a series where you ride a dragon, but I found that there's actually a spin-off where you're just playing as the dragon. So we're actually going to play that later on in the stream when we get to it. But yeah, there's a lot of games where you ride a dragon. There's tons. You guys. I don't have any bombs. I tried to use one. Could really use power, but... Nah. So just a few examples of games where you're a dragon rider. Drakengard, Panzer Dragoon, Dragon Strike, Dragon Blaze, and there's a lot more, but yeah, you get the idea. There's also, I did see this game called Civilion on arcade, which looked a lot like Saint Dragon that I was playing earlier, with a robotic serpentine type dragon, the Eastern style of dragon mythology. But it turns out from the lore that that dragon's actually a spaceship that's being piloted by some dude. So that I guess that's another subgenre of dragon games where it's really some kind of spaceship and you're inside it. Not as common as the transformed or rider type dragon games. Oh boy. This guy looks a lot like Lolo from Kirby. But then circle with eyes is a very basic kind of character design. Non-stalk. Dope. Fire's good. Get through all that ice. Oops. Good. Should be getting low on health by now. Hey. But yeah, Civilion, that was very interesting in another way. It's an arcade game that's controlled with a trackball. That sort of thing, you know, arcade games are able to have these kinds of unique control schemes because all the hardware is bespoke for each, you know, game. So I think I talked last week about Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, which also had a trackball, and which makes it very difficult to emulate. Luckily, unlike Sega Sonic, Civilion was ported to home platforms and thus can be controlled with a normal controller. But it falls outside the boundaries of dragon protagonist games, seeing as it's a spaceship thing. Ooh, chattery teeth, nice. This is going well. Oh no, I got hit. So yeah, that's a couple of Dragon Rider games. I almost played Dragon Strike for NES. There's two versions. One was on Amiga and a bunch of other platforms, and it's sort of a very early first person, almost flight simulator game. It's really interesting, but you're quite obviously riding a dragon in that one. But yeah, it also had an early use of 3D graphics. So pre-Star Fox kind of very chunky polygons, but very reminiscent of Star Fox certainly. And yeah, an interesting looking game. Dragon Strike for Amiga. Actually, one of the most jarring things about it is it has these 3D graphics, but superimposed on top of that is the head of your dragon that you're riding, sort of poking up from the bottom of the screen, and it's just a 2D sprite. And yeah, it looks kind of weird to juxtapose it like that. So there's that version of Dragon Strike, and they're all made by Westwood, I believe. But there's another version with the same name on NES, and to all appearances, that's just a game where you're a dragon flying around a big world. Kind of an interesting open world-ish, kind of free-roaming action game kind of thing. It must be near the end. 8 stages seems like a good video game number. Warning. That's promising. Ah, boss rush time. Okay, here we go. We're gonna clock this game soon enough. focus on one. Okay, that takes out both. Interesting. Yeah, so Dragon Strike for NES, it looked pretty interesting, but I looked further into it, and it's implied by the manual text, and also by the box art actually, if you just look at it, that the dragon is in fact being ridden by a person, despite the in-game sprite not really showing that and just being a dragon flying around. So yeah, that was too bad, but I can't anymore. It's based on D&D actually. It's set in the Dragonlance campaign setting thing. So I would have liked to play it and talk a bit about D&D, but too bad. You chose to have humans in your game, and I do not care for it. Okay. I see you, chat. What's going on? Oh no, nobody said anything since last time. That's okay. Is it really worth talking when I'm not even looking? I'm not being passive aggressive there, I'm just jabbering basically. Okay, I got rid of the claw. Give me something. Give me something good. Oh, missed it. Oh, bad. Let's just focus on avoiding for a bit. Until Stalk Simon comes past. Thank you. Excellent. What else did I look at? Emerald Dragon. That was a cool looking thing. It was an RPG where you play as a dragon man kind of thing. You basically play the prologue of the game as a sort of humanoid dragon. Definitely a dragon, but sort of standing upright with arms and legs and stuff, and human-sized. But at some point during the early part of the game, you get transformed into a human in order to travel in the human world. So I'm like, lame. I don't want to be a human, I want to be a dragon. And there's similar things in a couple other games. I don't think I wrote all of them down, but yeah. It was promising, but then you play most of the game as just a human-looking guy. It's like, meh. Apparently you do transform to your dragon form for like special attacks. It's a kind of a turn-based RPG for a little bit. But yeah, that's not good enough for this stream. We want dragons and dragons only, please. What else did I write down here? Dragons. Yeah, okay, so that's a few things that I discounted. So what actually counted? Well, let's go through a little chronological list that I put together. First thing I noticed was Devil World for the NES. Nintendo's first party game that didn't come out in America. It did come to Europe 3 years late, but yeah, I think it's referenced in Smash Bros. Melee and Smash 4 as well. Oh yeah, and Devil I think is an assist trophy in Brawl 2, so like all these references that yeah, people aren't going to get from this obscure game. It's kind of not that interesting a game though on its own. It's kind of a Pac-Man clone, kind of maze game thing. And yeah, the protagonist is a dragon, I guess. But even then, he doesn't really super look like a dragon. I forgot to write this down, but Bubble Bobble is a similar kind of thing. They're sort of nominally dragons, but they're really just cute little lizardy guys. Tamagon he's only got 2 legs and he's like weird shaped and just bobbles around, and I don't know. Tamagon, he has to fight the devil. Yeah, it's weird. What was next? In 1986, there's a game called Thanatos on the Commodore 64, which looked pretty interesting. It's sort of an action-adventure game. You play as like a dragon. I forget what the title given to it was by the like manual, the backer box, but it was like God of Destruction or like Lord of Annihilation. I don't know. It sounded pretty impressive. But yeah, I think that's consistent with maybe Greek mythology or something. Thanatos is some kind of figure of that kind. I don't really know. Anyway, it looks like a decent game. The objective is to rescue a sorceress, and then there's like 2 phases of the game. There's you're like rampaging through a fortress or whatever to find Eros, the sorceress, and then you sort of find her, and then she jumps on your back and rides you on the way out. So it's kind of a Dragon Rider game, but you are playing as the dragon the whole time, especially in the part before you pick up Eros. So yeah, that was pretty cool. The one after that is Rainbow Dragon, also on Commodore 64. I think those 2 might have been ported to other platforms. I'm not really sure. Rainbow Dragon is a bit more of a game of that era. Like, you're in a giant labyrinth and you have to find 10 treasure chests to escape, and it's very, I don't know, basic and obscure kind of thing. And there's a hard time limit to the game. There's more than half of the entire screen is taken up by this huge UI of these pillars on top, which represents the cave complex that you're in collapsing over time, and you have to do your objective before the whole thing collapses in its game. Well, and I don't really care much for that kind of game design, but yeah, what you gonna do? Rainbow Dragon. And then the next one on the list was Saint Dragon from '88, and I've gone through that, and then this one, Coryoon. So this is 1991, by the way. I hope this doesn't take too much longer. We've got to move on, we've got to play some other games. The other ones shouldn't take us long though. I won't be playing all the way through the next one either, it's also on arcade. But it had some interesting points about it. We'll get to it. Oh, finally, okay. Give me a few extra lives there, so we've got level 1 fire, we've got 8 lives. Is there another boss? Or is this the end? You remember the rampant save setting I had to do at the final boss of Zonk? Oh, there we go. I just got a notification my tweet was liked by Panzer Dragoon World. I might be disappointed because I'm not up to Panzer Dragoon Mini yet, but actually by the time they've tweeted it, I guess that's kind of good because I haven't started yet. But words. Yeah, in the tweet I said I would be starting with Panzer Dragoon Mini, but I'm actually going to end with it. There's a couple things next, and then Panzer Dragoon Mini. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But we're not there yet. We're still playing Coryoon, Child of Dragon. I guess Child of Dragon is kind of the literal translation of that. But I don't know whose child I'm supposed to be. Presumably a dragon. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, skills in inverted commas. Oh no, bad stuff. I'm losing too many lives. Let's go back a little. Do that a little better. Close its tail back very quick. See, as soon as it gets to the bottom of the screen, it just comes back. Oh, we got a lucky thing. The spade. What does that do? Who knows? Yeah, Gibbon's looking up Dragon games now, and yes, a lot of them are shmups. I could have gone the route of playing Dragon games that aren't shmups, but the thing about shmups is that they're usually pretty short, as long as you're, using save states. So it let me play a few more at a time and spend longer on them as well, because I could do the Dolphin Games thing where I just play like 5 minutes of a whole bunch of different games, but that's a lot of work as well. I like the Crystal Turtle design, it's pretty cool, although it might be a ripoff of Gamma, I'm not sure. Oh man. Yeah, let's go back it up. I shouldn't have used the bomb there. What was I doing? Oh well. It's fine. Yeah, I guess, dragons lend themselves to shmups, just as dolphins lend themselves to not much exploratory underwater games. I don't know. Oh, I actually didn't mention that it was only after I'd finished the Dolphin Game Showcase that I remembered that you can actually ride a dolphin in Wave Race 64, but I'll save that for part 2, I suppose. Anyway, we're playing Dragon games now. But yeah, there's a few more. Let's skip ahead in the list a little. After the games that I'm going to be playing later, I noted a few others where you're a dragon. We've got Blazing Dragons on the PlayStation and Saturn, not to be confused with Dragon Blaze, which is a shmup where you ride dragons. Blazing Dragons is a Sierra-style point-and-click adventure game where you're in a medieval kingdom and it's kind of comedic, and you play as like a humanoid dragon who's kind of a low-class citizen. He's kind of a weedy little humanoid dragon, and I don't know, he's dressed in a court jester outfit. I don't really know what the game's about, but yeah, that looks pretty different from these shmup games that we're otherwise looking at today. But yeah, I can't speak to the quality. Although I think I have actually read a HG 101 article about that series. Never mind. The Blazing Dragons, that is. Anyway, so that's another one. What else we got? Dragon Rage is the next one here on my list from 2001 on the PS2. That's kind of a action-adventure 3D, of course. Dragon simulator, you go around torching stuff and burninating things. Pretty cool, I guess. There's a similar one like it called Eye of the Dragon. The letter I, by the way. Eye of the Dragon on the PC from 2002, which had added like RPG and town building elements to it somehow. Don't really know how that works, but yeah. I guess an experimental era of like that early next gen kind of thing. So pretty cool to see different kinds of 3D games. Speaking of 3D games, I almost included a game called Dragon... what was it called? Damn. I've deleted it from the list, so I can't even remember the name. It was like a joust kind of scenario, but in 3D, although it was more 2.5D with like lanes, like more about left and right movement. Sort of like a brawler kind of thing. That was interesting until I realized that there was a little tiny man sitting on the back of the dragon, so it's technically a Dragon Rider game. I think it was called 3D Dragon... I forgot. Sorry. At least it wasn't a shmup. The We're looking for different genres of dragon games. What was next? Yeah, so do you remember that book Aragon / that movie Aragon that was based on the book? The book is okay for, you know, younger readers, teenagers. It was written by a teenager, so... Dragon time. Person dragons. This is bad. That hurt a lot there. How about a bomb? Don't have any. Okay, I think the objective there was to survive. Whoa, boy! So, I asked before who I was the child of. So, here's my headcanon. This is Coryoon's father, and that's who I'm the child of. Oh, good. Oh, no. Okay, so I think... Wait, what's going on here? It's like alternately spitting out little doobies and fireballs, and I think I can destroy the doobies but not the fireballs. But then whenever I hit it, there's a boom effect, so I'm a little confused. But I'm definitely hurting it, so that's good. Oops. Goodbye, fairies. Oh. Yeah, so Aragon. There was a famous actor, I think it's the antagonist. Was it Jeremy Irons? I forget. Anyway, it was kind of a substandard teen fantasy movie. Young adult fantasy, I guess. But in a high fantasy style. Yeah, so a game over means you start all over again, although I still have that score really high, so we're going to load back to the start of the boss fight. Yeah, Gibbons weighing in on Aragon there. He says it being written by a teenager was its only selling point, he thinks. He read it, doesn't remember much, just a sense of meh. Yeah, I was pretty into it when I first read it, because I guess I was younger, but there were sequels after that, and yeah, they didn't impress me too much, because I started reading different things by that point. More advanced things, you know. I was a literary snob. No. I still read kind of trashy fantasy sometimes. Yeah, leave my presence. So yeah, obviously reasonable budget fantasy action films get game adaptations, so Aragon got one on all the available platforms. It's on the DS, it's on the consoles, it's on, was it on GBA? Not sure. It's on a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, the whole idea with the series is this boy, you know, relatable every boy, is paired with a dragon and becomes like Mega Hero Man because of the dragon stuff. And so yeah, in the game there's a lot of dragon action, but you're mostly playing as the boy, and there's like dragon sections. The exception to this is the PSP version of the tie-in game, in which the whole time you're playing as Saphira the dragon, and you're like either assisting Aragon the boy, or like sometimes he's riding you, but basically you are the dragon in that game. So PSP version only of Aragon is a dragon game by this definition. Okay, so that might have been the final boss. Yeah, looks like it. I don't know about that one guy from the intro with the big floating armor thing, but the princess is back to her normal proportions now, so I guess that means I won, unless there's a secret final boss encounter. Possibly. Happy Coryoon. Yay! Happy. Hug. Very cute. Yay, congratulations. Dee, 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 dee. I agree, Gibbon. He says at the time he was reading it, he was going through a phase of, why does everything have to be an epic sprawling trilogy? And he was biased against it, which may have colored his opinion of the book. It's a pretty simplistic kind of, like, if you read other books, you can tell how much of it is kind of like derivative, basically. But yeah, if you are younger and you haven't read as widely, it's pretty good, it's decent. But yeah, I just remember it taking ages for the next one to come out and the next one, and they're really long too. So yeah, the audience would have grown up and grown out of it, I feel like, so that might have been a weakness. And, you know, maybe the later ones get better, I'm not really sure. I think I stopped after the second one, or maybe the third one, but yeah, didn't continue. I don't even know how many there are in total, to be honest. Yeah, that's right. If you have a PSP and you have bought Spyro 2 on the PSN, you can play, yeah, you can play PS1 games on PSP. I considered playing it on my Vita. It has a really nice screen, that Vita, man. But yeah, there's the voice, Hideko Oguro. Yeah, a few little voice clips. Not much to write home about, but he gets credited, so that's nice. Yes, you should play some more Spyro 2, and we can chat about it in the Game Club. It's a really good game, recommended by one of the members over there. And yeah, she was saying, yeah, it's a more solid game. It's the most solid game in the trilogy, she said, and I think it's sort of expanded on things from the first one, but the third one got a little, I don't know, too far into the weeds. They sort of, I gather that they ran out of sort of things to do with Spyro. They thought they'd sort of exhausted the gameplay possibilities of Spyro as a character. So they ended up adding like a whole ton of like other playable characters, and most of them aren't as fun to play as Spyro. So yeah, that's a problem in number 3. Can't speak to the PS2 ones, but that's something I noticed. Okay, that's the end. So that was Coryoon, Child of Dragon by Naxat Soft. Really good game. Cute little shmup. And yeah, total like sister game to Airzonk. So let's get on with this. Oh, an hour and a half I've been playing. All right, let's move on to the next one. And I won't play it for too long before we move on to the last game plus the bonus game. So this game is called Sorcer Striker by... Oh, I thought that was a little sound clip there. Raijin. That must be in the later games. So this is the Gobligan Empire. And there's robot stuff and flying robot dragon stuff, thingies. There's 3 games in this series, and I'm going to briefly go through each one. The greatest battle of magic is about to start. The original Japanese title for this series is Maho Daisaksen, which translates to Magic Armageddon. Oh yeah, it's just a demo. Let's put in a coin and get started. So in this first game we've got 4 characters: the fighter Game, the witch Chitta, the necromancer Bornum, and the samurai Miyamoto, who is also a dragon. So let's pick Miyamoto. And yeah. My master's vengeance. I won't forgive you for this. Kage! So yeah, the other characters in this game have sort of steampunk, like medieval robot ships. Oops, wrong button. I shot a bomb straight away. Shouldn't usually do that. But Miyamoto flies himself, or as himself. He's just a dragon, so I don't know when his samurai skills come into play, but yeah, he's got dragon skills. He's got fire breath and whatever. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe it's not fire breath. Maybe it's some kind of projectile weapon that he's using. But anyway, he can shoot stuff. Yeah, so this game's fairly well praised among shmups. It's got that kind of medieval / sci-fi mashup style to it, which is nice. And now we have a walking turtle castle. That's really cool. Oh, forgive me, tortoise castle. But yeah, got a bit of bullet hell coming up here. I like this a lot. Yeah, it looks good. So maybe we'll go up to the first boss, and then we'll see how it's going. And I'll show you the other games in the series. Like I said, there's 3. The next one came out the following year. This was 1993. The next one's 94. I don't remember what this was ported to, but the second game was ported to Saturn, but only in Japan. The third one was a bit later, it came out in 2000. But Miyamoto, like, they sort of change up the playable characters. They have similar style characters, but I think Miyamoto is possibly the only one who is the same character between all 3. So yeah, you've got this dragon guy going through them with you. Oops. Ooh, I got frozen. Special, give me the special. Special me. Am I shooting the special to get the special? So yeah, the books will upgrade your shot. And yeah, you got a rapid fire. Just check that. Oh, so there's 2 little ninja guys standing beside me now. Yeah, different special weapons you get will, yeah, sit beside you like that and have different effects. You know, typical shmup stuff, I talked about that already. Boom. So yeah, there's a lot of games also where you fight against dragons, but obviously that doesn't count. You can also be a dragon in this one, so that's nice. No response. What does that mean? I think you could actually see on that scroll the words Maho Armageddon. Interesting. What time is it? Yeah, let's move on. I want to get to the last game definitely, so we'll quit out of that. Oh no! Gibbon was trying to run some PlayStation phone games, Sony phone stuff. But apparently they updated something and he can no longer access the store through it. That's really unfortunate. Okay, second game. It's called Shippu Maho Daisaksen. Wait, did I change the input? I did. But I need to change it again. Oh, no I don't. It's working. Okay, fine. Time when magic and machines ruled the country. Disputes continued without a sign of ceasefire. I think they mean ceasefire. Among the remaining evil, even after a year from the Gobururigen War, leaving something. Then suggested by the ruling emperor was a major cross-country aero race to revive the country and to commemorate the first anniversary of winning the war. Cool. Head for the goal despite the means. Eliminate any intruder. The winner gets a lump sum prize and anything they shall desire. A drive to deathmatch racing. Chicken is no need. Wow, the English is amazing in this game. So yeah, this was a collaboration between Raijin and Eiting, and they actually ended up merging later on after this. But for now, let's put credit in, and yeah, there's that guy again, Gain. And Chitta, she's back too. Who's this? Kickle and Lakel. Bolgin. Bornham's back, okay. Miyamoto, our boy. Honest John. Oh, that's cute. And Nirvana, the giant fairy person who... Oh, I accidentally picked her because my time ran out. How do I reset? I don't know how to reset, so I'll quit. Sorry about that. Yeah, she's like one of them fairies from off of them Legend of Zeldas. Yeah, we get it. Give me the credits. Alright, so we're definitely picking Miyamoto. We had a little voice called there, I couldn't make it out. This race is mine. Oh, Gibbon did get it working. The phone is just old and a piece of junk. Okay, so this is really weird. It's a racing game, as the intro might have told you, but also a shmup. It's a weird hybrid. It's really pretty interesting. You can hold down the shoot button to get a boost of speed, but then of course you can't shoot anything. So it's a trade-off there. You've got to try and accelerate when you can, but it does require holding the button down for a little while. So while you're playing a shmup level, you also need to be aware of the other races in the field, and you can see them there on the mini-map to the left, and you have to stay ahead of that. Apparently you have ways of influencing them, but you don't like directly shoot them. I'm falling behind that turtle, whatever that is, so I'm going to hold the button and speed up. Apparently you also go faster when you're higher up on the screen. Oh wow, that's hardcore. The dragon like joined up with a plain exoskeleton thing, and now it's a giant awesome jet. Bong! Yeah, that would be the boss. Get that. Speed up. Ah! This is pretty rad, man. I like it. The music's rocking too. So try and go a bit faster. Oh, that was the goal. Oh no, I was so close. What a fool. Yeah, I really like the ridiculous premise. Air Circus or Velmatic Ocean? Let's go Air Circus. Yeah, so there's 12 races total, but as you play through the game, you do 6 of them, I think. So you, oops, hitting the wrong button, hit the bong right at the start. Although apparently that is a viable tactic, because the bong is one of the few things you can do that directly affects other races. So I can increase my lead right at the start by doing. So yeah, it's risky to be closer to the top of the screen, but it makes you faster. So that's kind of another trade-off aspect to this. So it's pretty interesting. Apparently the home port has a mode that removes the racing elements, so you can just play it like a normal shmup. And it's a good example of them of shmups in itself. So they say. But also the racing elements make it really interesting and different. So that's cool. Oh, am I killing those people who are sitting on the logs by destroying the log thing? Oh well. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. We've had the 2 scrolling shooters now, so this is a top-down shooter, another common type of the genre. Oh, that's a cool design. I'm really liking the enemy designs in these games. Oh. I've entered my initials. Yeah, we might as well stop there. Let's go ahead with the 3rd game in the series, even though we're breaking chronology by skipping like this. Because this is from 2000 and Panzer Dragoon Mini is from 96. But we're going to end with Panzer Dragoon Mini, so we'll do this one next. This game is called Die Mahor Die Sachsen, I think. Not 100% sure on that one, but they, for some reason, localized it as just Die Mahor, but like weirdly romanized, so it looks like it's Dimahu, which doesn't mean anything, so... Invasion from underground! Yeah, the graphics are a bit more advanced. The Earth was really hollow! From there comes the underground Goblin Empire. Who's gonna stop them? Maybe one of these folk. They are the tough bounty hunters. Great battle is beginning. Are you great? We are great. Oh, this is ridiculous. I love it. Cool. So yeah, like I said before, they've swapped out a lot of the characters, although they seem to be similar archetypes. But Miyamoto has remained. Let's include a credit and get started. Who have we got? Solo Bang the Warrior, who is a very Japanese trope there, kind of the pompadour punk kind of thing. Cart the Sorceress. Yep, she's... Is that a dragon on her back there? Not sure. Oh no! Ah! No. Wait. Sorry. Man, that's lame. Yes. Okay. What else we got? Grimlen the Necromancers. Looks like there's a team of 3 little dudes there. And you see they all have different stats too. Home, standard type, homing, high speed, power, or expert, beginner. Yeah, I'm definitely an expert, apparently, because I'm picking Miyamoto. He's got more of a head of hair this time. And yeah, I think. Oh, there's more voice clips. But yeah, it looks like a pretty similar setup in terms of the kind of things going on. Power-ups still picking up, the coins and stuff. Yep, it's all there. So yeah, there's a magic level up and a shot level up that happens, and the magic is referring to the 2 little, yeah, coins give you shot up, and then the books give you magic level up. And magic, yeah, is the additional shot on the side there. Yeah, so the graphics have been upgraded, I guess. And there's more voice clips. So yeah, we've got all the little people waving in the background there again, as before, which is nice. It's a nice little touch, I like it. Good little animations on them too. Very cute. Yeah, same sort of robot dragon thing as enemy. Ooh. Yeah, this is very much a sequel in many ways, keeping very close in style. And another Dragon Fortress type, plus. Level down, oh no. So my little ninjas now seem to be throwing out yin-yang symbols. Because I'm a samurai. Ouch. Yeah, I like it when the games give you an opportunity to pick up the yell power-ups when you die. Very friendly of them. Button mash. Ooh. Ooh. Yes, I have infinite money. But we also... Oh! Ouch. Yeah, we seem to have a slight bullet hell element going on here. Danmaku, I believe they're called, which means bullet curtain. So I lost my power-ups when continuing like that. Oh, but I have bombs, I forgot about that. Let's use that. Boom, boom, boom! Nice. Sword aura stuff. But then I just ran straight into... Ah! Yeah, okay, cool. I like the, oh, no item. I like the, yeah, the scroll with the sort of illustration, medieval style. Oh, yeah, man, this kind of game is a bit intense for me, I think. And yeah, so we've seen the three Mahou Daisakusen games now, so let's move on. Woo! Brutal. That one came through on the thing, yeah? Okay, it did, but it kind of looks weird. Sorry, it's a bit off center. It's not able. It shouldn't be looking like that. Oh well. Let's go on to the next thing. Close this down. Yeah. What's next? There you go. All right. Whew. Okay, Panzer Dragoon. This is something I've been wanting to get into for a little while. It's one of those Sega franchises. It's very well remembered. Easy, please. That's my only option. So this is on the Game Gear, and it was released only. Oh yeah, right. I forgot. There's 3 choices of dragon. I want chat to tell me which one to pick: red, blue, or black. And you'll notice the horn design is different on each one. Blue, I guess, is the classic Panzer Dragoon, iconic, you know, character design with the single horn sticking out front. So I will go with that if there are no other preferences spoken. They have different like vital statistics up there, but from what I read, it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. Let's just go with blue. So yeah, Panzer Dragoon's pretty cool. There were 2 games on the Saturn and then an RPG on the Saturn as well called Saga, which is very well regarded among JRPGs, but the other games are... I'm not doing very well, am I? They're scrolling shooters. They're, you know, whatchamacallits. Rail shooters, yeah. So you're flying along automatically and shooting stuff that comes up before you. But they were very sort of graphically impressive 3D kind of games at the time. Oh, and there was a third one in that style called Orta on the Xbox Zero. So it's another example of those Sega franchises from around the time of the Saturn and Dreamcast being brought over to the Xbox when Microsoft and Sega were all buddy-buddy at the time. So yeah, this was released around the time of the Saturn games, and apparently it draws elements from the first 2 games. Released for the Game Gear only in Japan, intended very much for children. Did I switch the input thing? Yeah, that's right. Because the box even proclaims it to be like a kids label, whatever, release. So hopefully that means that the difficulty is not too high, because I'm a child. But yeah, it's you know, a valiant attempt to replicate the impressive graphics and gameplay from the Panzer Dragoon games onto a tiny 8-bit handheld system. And it's, I think the opinion of it is that it's not very successful at that, and it really doesn't compare at all. But, you know, that doesn't matter to me. I think it looks cute, and we're going to play it and have some fun. Because we can. So you'll notice I have a lock-on system. There's 2 buttons, but they both do the same thing. It's just a simple shot like this. Pew pew pew. If I hold it down, I can lock on to enemies, and boom, they get blown up. Presumably in the real game, that would have had some kind of shot effect that travels over the screen, but not so much on the Game Gear. So yeah, I mentioned Panzer Dragoon earlier. They are of that genre where you're a human person who is friends with the dragon and riding them and shooting stuff. But this one on the Game Gear is the exception. There are no humans in evidence. Now this could be a Dragon Strike situation like the NES game where it doesn't seem like there's a human, but according to lore there is. There's not really any way to know because there's no story or anything in the game itself. I couldn't find a manual online, so even if we could have it, I mean it would be in Japanese, but hopefully I'd be able to interpret something out of it. So let's just go on the assumption that, you know, it's a simplified version of Panzer Dragoon for kids, as I said. There's not a whole lot of jeopardy here. These enemies don't seem to pose any threat to me specifically until the tougher ones come along. But yeah, what I was saying, the story has also been simplified, so they've just sort of ignored any human interactions there, and it's just, you're this cute dragon, go for it. Of course the dragons look a lot more cute in this one than they did on the console as well. It's a nice character design, definitely, but they've been clearly chibified for this version. Yeah. So I am looking forward to playing the real thing at some point, but I haven't actually got around to it yet. Okay, so that's the first stage, and I got a password for it. I don't have a Saturn, and I could never get an emulator for it working, so I don't really have any hope on that score, but I do have an Xbox Zero, and I've been looking into getting Orta and playing that, and in fact there's a version of the first game included in Orta as like an extra, so the whole first Saturn game is on there. So a very nice little package there, and it comes recommended from things I read on the internet, so yeah, gonna look into that. But for now we have Mini, Panzer Dragoon Mini, and we're gonna make do with that. Obviously with the sort of 2D sprite scaling stuff and the scrolling floor that's sort of, you know, two-tone colors scrolling through, it calls to mind Space Harrier, of course, which is another Sega rail shooting kind of franchise, in which you play as a flying man with a gun, or possibly a man with a flying gun. It's uncertain. Let's have that debate some other time. And although, yeah, as you can see here, when you go into a boss fight, there's perspective switches and it's side-scrolling now, shooting at it, coming alongside us, and the scrolling of the floor changes to reflect that too. It's nice. I looked up what Space Harrier looks like on its port to the Game Gear, and this one is actually seems more impressive and smoother and stuff. But I guess it's not surprising considering they were made 5 years apart, I think. So yeah, I think Panzer Dragoon Mini did it better than Space Harrier itself on Game Gear in a similar style of game. Although perhaps there was a bit more variety in different kinds of enemy designs in Space Harrier than there is here in Evidence. I mean, we got some new enemy types in the last stage, but they didn't exactly look particularly exciting. Space Harrier has all kinds of weird, trippy kind of characters in it, like the Cyclops Mammoth and that crazy segmented dragon thing. Yeah. Other ones that I have forgotten because I'm not that familiar with it. Of course, the problem with Space Harrier is it's got all these ports to tons of different platforms, but they're all like very inferior to the original thing, which was on arcades. It's got a few sequels too. But I have heard good things about the release on the 3DS, which I don't remember if it's based on the Mega Drive version or the arcade version, but M2 does a great job with their 3D, I forget what they're called, 3D Fukoku archives. Fukoku is a Japanese word, by the way, I wasn't swearing. I like the backgrounds in this, nice, simple, but effective pixel art. But it's disappeared now because we're in a boss fight. Ooh, okay. Big leg machine. That's what this one's called, because I said so. Can't seem to lock onto this. Yeah, there's nothing to lock onto, so rapid fire is our only option. It's a pretty simplistic game, if I'm honest. But then again, it is on that kids line, as I said. Yeah, again, I'm plugging HD 101, but they have an article on the Panzer Dragoon series, and I believe their comment about, I don't know who wrote the article, sorry, but their comment about this game was that it's a very pale imitation of the real thing, but it was sort of intended for younger children to play a version of the game that they see their older brother playing on the TV. So we are playing this without context, or at least I am. I don't know much about Panzer Dragoon, except for the racetrack in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. But I am enjoying the game so far, insofar as it reminds me of Star Fox, albeit quite a simplified version of it. Because that's, of course, what I grew up with in terms of rail shooters, so I'm always going to compare them to that. That lock-on mechanic is certainly common between them. Pow. They're cute. And we have a interesting music track going on, so that's nice. Given saying he wants this, but like on the Super Nintendo. You mean this Panzer Dragoon game? It would probably look better, although judging by similar things on the Super Nintendo, they might try to force... Ooh, now we're getting a backwards perspective, that's new. See our dragon from the front. Yeah, they might try to like push the Mode 7 beyond what really looks good. Like, the minimalism and simplicity of this is driven by the technical limitations, but I think it also makes it look more, I don't know, classy. It's probably not the best word, but you know, it looks simple, but it's effective. I can imagine if they crammed like textures on the ground that were like horribly muddy, just because they wanted it to look good. I don't think it would age as well, I think is what I'm saying. But I know that Gibbon and I disagree about how good Mode 7 is, so that's okay. I noticed when I saved that somehow the emulator's gotten confused again and is taking screenshots at the same time, so I'm going to have a full folder when I go and check it later. Ugh. Silly thing. Folder of random screenshots of this game. And to be honest, it's not much to look at, but it's decent. I mean, and thinking of, you know, what this is, the Game Gear, an 8-bit system on a handheld, it's impressive enough. Those sprite scaling effects there. Yeah. Good stuff. Ah. Ooh. That's like the proper dragon. I guess that's the bad guy. Again, I don't know Panzer Dragoon stuff, so sorry, but yeah. The dragon looks similar to my dragon, so yeah, there's a link there, I'm sure. But again, no plot, nothing to this game. I feel like the game, like that HG101 article, definitely seems like it might be spot on in that they're kind of expecting you to be familiar with the console one and then playing this one as a supplement to it. On its own merits, though, it's, you know, maybe a bit lacking, but fine. And also, again, I don't have the manual, so maybe that would also help to add context. Given his clarifying his earlier statement, he was thinking it would be more like a like an explicitly Star Fox style thing in terms of the technology they use to get this 3D stuff. So the polygonal super FX style thing. And yeah, I'd actually really like to see that. Star Fox can be hard to go back to because the frame rate's really awful. And the gameplay, I think, really suffers as a result. But yeah, it's a unique style, and I did compare Dragon Strike on the Amiga to it earlier, and it's certainly a striking look, yes. And yeah, part of what Panzer Dragoon got by on at the time was, I think, its visuals. So it is interesting to have these designs in a different style, and equally, I think the low poly Star Fox style would make them interesting in a different way. So yeah, totally agree. Can you link me this game after stream? Will do. I'll show you the certainly not illegal, not ROM site that I found it at. I obviously backed up this game from my own cartridge that I bought at the time when it was new in Japan. Obviously. I don't even know who made this game, man. There's no credits online. Maybe we'll get a credits screen at the end, or maybe it's only in the manual. Presumably it was someone connected to Sega. Sega would have obviously got some royalties from publishing it, but I don't know who developed it. Mystery. Maybe we'll find out. But I can equally foresee that this will end with no credits sequence at all. Given saying it feels like you could do some interesting mixing and matching with Star Fox's low poly, Star Fox's polygons and billboard sprites. I'm not sure what billboarding sprites actually is. So I don't know if you could explain that further, but is it something like what we saw in Stunt Race FX, where there were, well, that was actual billboards with sprites on them, but I'm picturing something like that. It's this same Flying Fortress again. Like, that's kind of boring, to be honest. Would have liked something new, but oh well. Yeah, he says Star Fox did do some billboarding, but it didn't push it much. Yeah, Star Fox mostly used untextured polygons. I think Star Fox 2 had more textures in the sense, like the textures were kind of low resolution themselves, almost being sprites at the time. Actually, yeah, we were saying in chat earlier that Mega Man Legends was an interesting visual style and that its textures almost look like sprites, and that was a good way to have interesting designs on game objects with limited texture memory on the PlayStation 1. So yeah, Super Nintendo wasn't even quite there yet. So a lot of stuff was untextured in Star Fox. But that was super pushing that thing beyond its limits. And of course using the Super Effects chip to supplement the technical aspects. This is no less impressive actually for not having any of those advanced hardware extras. My health's getting low. I don't know what happens when I die, so yeah, I'm gonna try not to let that happen. Although maybe we should find out. Maybe when the real boss shows up. Like this, it's just a normal section of the level, but sideways. It's different. Okay, whoa! Hecka, what? That's crazy. Alright, I'm gonna die on purpose. Slowly, apparently. Oh, and it's all too easy to avoid the projectiles. Whatever. Let's continue. Given says he's thinking of the asteroid belt level, for instance, where you actually get sprites of asteroids that scale as you get closer, which is because they're just billboarded sprites with collision on them and not 3D polygons. Yeah, that's right, now that you mention it. There are certainly objects in that game that are sprites, as opposed to polygonal objects. But yeah, they're in the same environment and can be interacted with. Certainly. I'm not sure what billboarded means, but yeah, it's definitely got that thing where some objects are sprites and they get scaled dynamically as you approach them. Oops. Okay, I'll save right here. Huh, you don't actually... That's as high as I can move up, by the way. So I guess that upper area of the screen is just for looking out for enemies to appear in. Interesting how they use different sections of the screen. Oh, continue. I can just continue. Where do I continue from? The start of the stage. I do not want that. So let's finish this. A bit like those robot cats in Snake Dragon. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. That was stage 4 done. Stage 5. I think there's 6 stages in this game. So we'll clear it. And then we might have time for one bonus extra. And then I can get on with my day. Oh yes, there's one more game on here that I didn't mention. Horde, H-O-A-R-D, which is a game that was released on computers and also Sony's PlayStation platforms, including the PSP. That's something I found out about. It came out in 2010. It's sort of a multiplayer strategy, real-time kind of thing, but, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you're a tiny little dragon, or at least you look small on the screen, but you're a full-size dragon, but the whole world is kind of zoomed out. I'll go with a health refill. And you sort of fly around a countryside burning stuff and getting treasure and stuff. It actually has a really neat style where if you fly to the edge of the map, you see that you're almost a game piece on like a game board or map that's, you can see it sort of unrolled on a table. You look over and there's wood grain over there and the edge of the map. And yeah, it's kind of cool. But yeah, that's just another game where you're a dragon, and that's one of the subgenres of dragon games. And I mentioned before, Dragon's Rage is like this, where you're playing the traditional European dragon role of being a terrorizer of the countryside and devouring people and stealing treasure and burning stuff, being a menace. But it's a different take on it. Instead of being an up-close dragon simulator like those earlier games, it's more, well, it's a bit more board gamey kind of, I guess, if the visual style is any indication. I think it does inform the gameplay as well, yeah. And apart from the bonus game, I think that's the end of my list there. So I've talked about all the dragonish games that I could find. I mentioned there were 3 Legend of Spyro games in there. Oh yeah, and there was the original Spyro game on DS, Shadow Legacy. Did I mention that? No. Anyway, there's a lot of games. Go to the Wikipedia list I mentioned. Have a browse through it, it's fun. It's got columns for whether the dragon is transformed or not, whether the dragon is a boss. Like, it's basically just a list of dragons in games, sorted by the name of the dragon character. And there's columns for what role they play in the game, you know, whether they're a player or a boss or whatever. And then like a notes column, a platform column, and yeah, whether they've been transformed from a human or not, which is, you know, something that a categorization that I came up with before I even saw that list. And yeah, it's one of the things that sorts these games. The Panzer Dragoon dragons have really tiny wings, or is it just a feature of the chibi version? Boom, boom, boom. Diddy Kong Racing is on there because of Smokey the Dragon, the boss. I feel like I'm doing a boss rush right now, so, but the game has also recycled bosses in different stages, so I don't know if it's that or whether we're actually leading up to the final encounter now. Can't tell! How about that? Man, these things look weird. Oh yeah, I was going to mention before how I don't know if Freedom Planet had the dragon character when it was still a Sonic game. There is some precedent for dragon characters in Sonic. This seems like a final boss perhaps. There's a character called Dulcie in the original Saturday morning cartoon version of the Sonic animated series. But she's kind of a dragon-shaped dragon. She does later show up in the Archie comics post-reboot, and she's more humanoid and looks a lot more like what the Lilac character is like in Freedom Planet. But she actually does have wings and claws and such, and a snout. So I guess the characters are even more stylized in Freedom Planet than what they usually are in Sonic. Yeah, I like the designs of the different enemies and stuff in this game. They do just about shine through despite them being tiny sprites in this version. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then a bit of trivia on the Sonic wiki that I read. The Sonic Forces avatar customization thing. It's got like 7 different animals you can be. Originally, they were intending for one of the options to be a dragon, so that, yeah, you could be a dragon character, but didn't make it to the final game. I think we talked last week about how Sonic Forces was a little bit rushed and retooled and maybe a bit unpolished. And I think that was the avatar system was a bit of a victim of that. It could have had even more options and interesting things in it. But, oh well, it was pretty good in the form it's in. You serious? Congratulations. What a cliche, but it's real. It's right here on the screen. Okay, we beat the game and we got a congratulations, so fantastic. Oh yeah, I was going to mention Drakengard, which I talked about before. It's the sort of the precursor series to Nier, which has become more popular recently. It's about, you know, a person and a dragon. There's an accompanying game to the first Drakengard that was released on mobile phones, and it's a lot like this game in style. That simple 2D, 3D kind of Space Harrier thing going on. And looks a lot like this. Yeah, okay, so like I said, there were no credits. I predicted that. Maybe there's a password to get you to a credit screen, but I doubt it. So that was Panzer Dragoon Mini. We clocked it. I hope one day to become more familiar with Panzer Dragoon, because it's one of those Sega series that looks cool. But yeah, let's do our super special secret bonus game. So we're done with this for now. I'll switch over to I could play one of the GBO Spyros for a bit, but instead I'm going to have some fun with Trogdor. Homestar Runner, you might be familiar. Trogdor. Yeah, so in Homestar Runner there's a oh, not space. How do I well, you squish peasants, certainly. Oh, I got sorted. Yeah, so this is a game where you place a dragon, of course. You might know Homestar Runner as a web series of animations. One of the spin-off characters from that is Strong Bad, who is a man in a luchador mask. Okay, so now we're in Burninate mode. Can we Burninate knights? No, we have to avoid them still, so we'll Burninate the huts. Yeah, nice work. So Strong Bad has a show where he answers emails, and it's very funny, very good stuff. And that's where Trogdor came from. I guess someone asked him to show off his art skills, and he's not that great. So he drew this dragon, which there's instructions for it in the video. You can draw your own. I found out about this when I was quite young, and it was new. So yeah, it's pretty good. You draw 2 S's, and then some angry eyes. You draw a big beefy arm because Trogdor's really strong. Burninate. Burninate peasants, yeah. And then they go back to the hut and burninate the hut. Pretty good stuff. I have 0 mans left, so that's not good, but we're going to get as far as we can. Oh no, an archer. Look out. Gotta squish these peasants. Oh no, got sorted.
Oh, Trogdor, I'm fine for you.
So I can challenge again. Let's just refresh the page real quick so I can show you the credits of the game. They were on screen before, but oh, where are they? Trogdor. Yes, programmed by Jonathan Howe, designed by Mike and Matt. Don't know who Mike and Matt are, but Jonathan Howe is also credited on a lot of other Homestar games, including their big console release, Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. which is an adventure game thing. But yeah, there's other little pixely flash games like this on the website that you can find. So you lose peasant points when peasants escape back to huts. So yeah, phase 1 is crush peasants, phase 2 is burninate, and you can burninate peasants and they will run back to their huts, and then the huts will be burned down. So this is, I guess, in that genre of dragon havoc simulator where you play the destructive dragon type and you have to not get killed by the valorous knight types. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, pretty simplistic. It's funny though. Now, did I scare off that knight, or was that just a random movement? Who knows? Oh yes, Majesty. That's an important part of Trogdor's character design. You draw little lines around him, and that's to represent how majestic he is. That's the Majesty. There's a song to go with him too, which explains some more about Trogdor. You should look it up yourself. I won't do it any justice, but it establishes that Trogdor is a man. Oh no, wait, he's actually a dragon man. No, maybe he's just a dragon, but he's Trogdor, and that's how it goes. Yeah, very funny. Coming from my mouth, I'm sure not. How many levels are there in this game? I think there's quite a few. So we might not get to the end, but we'll keep going till the half hour, and then we'll stop playing Trogdor, and that'll be it for today. Oh, brutally sorted. No, please. Oh man.
Oh, Trogdor.
No,
I'm
Trogdor.
fighting for you.
All right, one more go. We will end on the half hour. Maybe I'll lit up a Spyro game, but I'll try and get further in Trogdor. Yeah. So there's sort of a follow-up game where it's called Peasant Quest, where you're a peasant who has to take revenge on Trogdor and go slay him. I hear that one's pretty well regarded. But yeah, I think the graphics in this one are quite good, simple but effective, especially the peasants. A fun use of a limited, you know, pixel space. No. The strong bad vocalizations are a nice touch. Ah. Do not kill me. Ah. So yeah, Trogdor, if he really was a man or a dragon man, he might be disqualified from the dragon game race, but actually he is just a dragon. Yeah! Nice work. Oh, I see. So the way that the door is facing on the hut is the way that the peasants come out of it. Oh, man, I got too close. It's hard to tell sometimes, you know. Oh, no! This is the pain point. This is where I keep dying.
Oh, this is the worst game I've ever played.
Thanks, Trogdor. Get away. Ah, so many peasants over there. When they go back to their huts, I lose points. Need to complete. There, okay. Yeah, you better run. Take that. It's Stomping good. Oh, that's cute. Cutscenes, lovely. Yeah, I remember, oh.
Oh, Trogdor, I'm pining for you.
Okay, that's enough. That was Trogdor. Before the hour's up, I did have... You know what? I'm going to show you Dragon Strike because it's pretty nice. Change my thingy. That one. Decent. Okay. Dragon Strike. Yes, thank you, Westwood. An official AD&D video game. Yes. There is 2-player mode. Bronze, silver, or gold. Ooh. Now let's go with silver. Because why not? Easy, please. This is the vast world that we're able to explore. May your ambition propel you to victory. So I need to fight 3 white dragon scouts. So yeah, you fly around, you have a shot like this, and you can sort of go anywhere in this world. And yeah, you switch between up in the air and down lower to the ground. I said down lower to the ground, like that. And when you're down lower like that, you can hit ground targets. But then you go up, and it's sort of like you're flying up higher, closer to the screen, so you're bigger. Okay, that was kind of funny. And yeah, no rider in evidence on the sprite, but yeah, according to supplementary materials, there is a human there controlling the dragon. It's part of the lore, I guess. I do have that special shot, but does that take up something? I don't know, it doesn't seem to. You just do that all the time. Yeah, when you fly over a large or a higher obstacle like the trees or the mountains or whatever, your dragon will automatically fly up higher, like that. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting concept, and yeah, I don't know much else to say about it. Let's get ourselves killed and we can move on. Hey, Catapult, do your job. Oh, seriously? You, Bowman, kill me. I demand it. See, that doesn't actually look that realistic then. You're the same size as the Bowman. Oh, so sad. Yeah, that was cool. What does this have for us? That one. Yeah. This is Spyro 2 Season of Flame, not to be confused with Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer or Spyro 2 what's the American title of Gateway to Glimmer? That's the PlayStation one. Ripto's Rage, I think. Anyway, this actually also has to do with Ripto. They do switch up antagonists from time to time in the series, but Ripto is recurring, comes back in different installments. Yeah, so there's Spyro and his little buddy Sparx. Sparx talks this time around. He didn't do that in PlayStation games, I'm pretty sure. That's Hunter. He's introduced in Gateway to Glimmer, Ripto's Rage, from Avalar. And Bianca is introduced in the third one and sort of takes over as the other supporting character. Her role is sort of filled by Elora in Ripto's Rage, but Elora just disappears after Bianca gets introduced, and it's sort of the Hunter and Bianca show for pretty much the rest of the series, I think. So yeah, I guess I have Ice Breath now. Go figure. This Spyro, this basket's got treasure inside. So yeah. They actually have done a really good job with this of replicating the PlayStation games, the way it looks and the way Spyro animates. Sparks has his gem pickup ability, but apart from that, I never really got on too well with isometric platformers like this. But this seems to be a decent example of it. I don't know about Hunter's sprite though, it looks a bit something off about it. I don't know. It doesn't look very nice. Yeah, so you can... Oh, brimstone, what does that mean? I don't know. You're encouraged to kill animals in the environment. And I don't know, it's a bit weird actually, but that's such a core part of the game. These innocent creatures, they're just minding their own business. But that's how you get your health back, is you kill these other animals and then... yeah, that's right, we do have the charge move. Headbutt thing. Which lets us go around really fast. See, it's not quite the same as having in full 3D on PlayStation. Can't enter those levels yet. And I love the bouncing numbers. They're such a fun part of these games. You get that on the PlayStation, where they're actual polygons, and they were almost showing off with all the polygons they could display, and you have these numbers just bouncing around in the game world. It's fun. Yeah, there must be somewhere I can go at this. Oh, fancy. Okay. So I don't have a map, but I could just roam around a bit. So yeah, I did enjoy my time with Spyro to Ripto's Rage, but I don't know if I really want to get into playing every single game in the series straight away. Oh no, I don't have enough gems. Mean old money bags always charges you for stuff. So this is Sheila, she's cool. She's a kangaroo. Them Rhinox have stolen heaps of gems from me mates back home. And now this black art won't let me get them back. Mate. Oh, it's time. Yep, okay, so we've been playing for a while now. Yeah, Spyro, that's what started this whole thing. Very cool to play as a dragon, and it's not as common as you think. So yeah, hope this has been fun for you today. We're going to end it there, so thanks for joining me. I guess I should say next week I'll have to do a shorter stream, or maybe no stream. I'll let you know on Twitter what I end up doing, but there's like a work thing I have to do. So I do have a short game in mind, so I'll probably play that. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. So yeah, thanks for joining me on the Dragon Showcase. I had a lot of fun with it, and with researching it too. I will have the names of all the games I played in the description of the YouTube archive. So if you're interested, look that up, and I will get back to Gibbon about, Panzer Dragoon Mini. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for joining me, and goodbye.